Hey everyone, what we're going to learn this week is how to read the scriptures with the whole story in mind. And so to help us get there, I want to show you one of my favorite pictures of the Bible. Now, clearly this isn't a picture of the Bible, but what you're looking at is if we kind of see the Bible moving from left to right at the bottom there, from Genesis on the left to Revelation on the right, we're seeing here how all of Scripture is connected, how it is referenced, how it is quoted. And what we land up with is this cohesive story that is so deeply connected in thousands of ways. Now, up to now, we've been learning just how much context should shape how we see and read and understand Scripture. And today we're going to see that not only is there context in the book we're reading or context with regards to what genre of Scripture we're reading, but how every single verse in Scripture is situated in the greater story of Scripture. And we need to always learn to recognize where the story is going and therefore how this verse fits in and how we are to understand this verse in light of the greater story of Scripture. Sometimes I think what to do with Scripture is what some of us did in high school when it came to studying some of these plays we had to learn about. Where we look at a little section here, we look at a line there, we study it, and we think we understand what the playwright in this case is meaning, when maybe that isn't the best starting point. Maybe the thing you and I should have done in high school is understand the whole story. And the more we understand the whole story, then we are better equipped to understand what this particular stanza means. Now, we know that we need to do this with Scripture. Going back to that picture that I showed you earlier, the biblical authors are doing this all the time. They are referencing one another all the time. They're quoting one another all the time. And they're always plugging themselves into this greater story arch. And so if they are doing it, we need to do it. So this week, we're going to read a passage in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 3. And what this passage is assuming is that you know the backstory. And if you don't know the backstory, it's really inviting you to acquaint yourself well with the backstory. And the more we understand the backstory, the more you and I are going to be equipped to understand well the passage in 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Now, the story is a story that if you've been journeying with us as a church, you should be very familiar with. And that is a story of Moses receiving the law at the top of Mount Sinai. And we've already seen how that story is so rich, how it is so textured. You and I have seen how great this moment is. And so the more we understand the story, I believe we're going to be better equipped for recognizing what the author is intending here in the book of 2 Corinthians. And so as you do this, I hope that your imagination is growing. I hope that the sense that these biblical authors aren't simply just downloading information to us. They are positioning themselves and therefore positioning us in this greater story. And the more we do that, the more our reading and our understanding of Scripture will be enriched and enhanced.